Hello everyone, welcome back to another Friday and another casual champion review. You fellas voted, put a little poll if you guys wanted me to do Hui first, because we did Briar when she first came out, but that was because we were going in alphabetical order and we missed the B champions. You fellas voted, we leave Hui to later, and right now we focus on Gragman, this freak of nature, poetic, because you fellas also voted when we did the subathon. We reached that I had to buy a framed poster of a champion of your choosing, and the winner was Santa Gragas. I love it so much. You know what I do love so much, though? Fan art section. Look at those goobers. That's fucking Gragas. I don't know how much I'm going to have to say about Gragas, because this guy is just hideous looking. But thank you, fellas, doing your darndest to make Gragas look the best he can. He's a character I never want to do a redesign for one day, so maybe I will. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not sure when we're going to do Hui. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. Maybe we keep going alphabetical order. It'll be like a few weeks out. But let me know in the comments, fellas. You guys decide. I don't know. Thing is, you guys are not going to be looking forward to this gameplay. That or you are a lot. Depending on which way you want my style of Gragas gameplay to be perceived on screen.
Yeah, and like every time it's like, oh, that's Mark Hamill.
Woohoo! So, to go over Gragas' lore, he's very simple. He is an old champion, released way back, I think in 2010 he would have released. I know he released alongside Pantheon. Like, it was like a Zaya Rakan duo release, but it was him and Pantheon. They weren't connected at all. I don't know why they did that, but back in the very early days, League launched like a new champion every 2 weeks. So I guess they skipped a week or something, I don't remember. He is a brewmaster who wants to make the perfect beer because he's unable to get fully drunk. You wouldn't know that based on his gameplay and the way he talks, but yeah, apparently he cannot get fully drunk. And that's what he wants to do most in life, I guess. Aspirational goals and all that. Some people want to be doctors. Gragas wants to get drunk. So his goal in life is just to make the best beer he can, and he's just traveling all over the world. He's traveling all over the world finding miscellaneous ingredients to make the best beer he can. And that led him to the Freljord. So he's not actually from the Freljord. He's just been in there for a long time. Still doesn't make his design make any sense, but we'll get there when we get there. And so he's just going through the Freljord. He literally stumbles into the Howling Abyss. If you look at the bio, he literally accidentally found it. And he finds a shard of true ice. And he's able to somehow pick this up. I guess he's an Iceborn, but I don't think he is, actually. I don't know. He just puts the shard of true ice in his beer. And this gives his beer not only magical properties, but more important to him, keeps it always at serving temperature. So he always has a cold drink, and he heads back to civilization to share his discovery, but is astonished to find a brawl ensuing. Well, more of a disagreement between two tribes. And I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this is Ash and Tryndamere's tribes bickering about certain things. And he comes in, he's like, hey guys, what are you doing? Because he's just a bumbling oaf, and the true ice beer has made him intoxicated somehow. But one of the warriors on Tryndamere's side insults him, and that provokes him to body slam him, as he does because he's a bumbling oaf. And an all-out brawl ensues for a while, and then in the aftermath, Ash is like, hey guys, let's have a drink. What? Let's have a drink. And all the tribes bond over Gragas' wonderful beer. And they're like, hey, maybe we aren't so different after all. We should team up. And Gragas is seen as a hero by these Avarosans. And he's an honorary Avarosan, even though he's not going to fight for them ever, because he wanders off into the Freljord to go find more ingredients to make more beer. And that's it. He has a short story where he goes into a brothel and some people send him some ingredients. They turn out to be fake ingredients. He's like, oh, you did it. And then he destroys the entire pub. But it's fine because he gave the waiter a tip. That's really all there is to him. Very simple character. Very one note. One goal. One aspiration. No personality. He's just a bumbling oaf. Although in the really old lore, he was a drinking buddy with Jax. I don't think they kept that, but now Jax is a voice line with Gragas, so maybe they did. They gave Gragas something to do in Runeterra. At least he'd have a friend, because right now Ash and Trindamere and the Avarosans just, they don't even like him. My brain cells are dead. I have none. Oh, wow! Thanks, Brian. Do you imagine you're a new player and you see like Nefiri and Set and Samira models in game, and then you log in like, what's this Gragas character? And you go in, and then this is what greets you. It's kind of hard to fathom that a character like Gragas exists. I think he does fall into that category of like base Corki, base LeBlanc, base Zillion, where it's just unacceptable that a champion looks like this in 2023, almost 2024. And he used to look worse than this. He has an updated walk cycle. Before, he didn't even have any weight to his movement. I guess, is that a benefit? I don't know. They made his walk cycle look even more goofy. As a character design, I mean, we've seen it a bunch. He is the classic, he's fat, laugh. Look how funny he is because he's fat. He's just the fat, ugly, disgusting vermin that burps and farts and just is an asshole to everybody. But it's funny because he's fat. The thing is, I'm not even against Gragas being a comedy character. I think like a drunken oaf, it'd be weird to make kind of the drunk character a super serious type. Because it's clear if they ever needed to rework Gragas, they'd have to keep the whole beer alcohol thing a part of him. That's his core identity. And you could make him funny and silly, but as he stands, he's just disgusting. I'd argue he's probably the only champion in the game that is disgusting. There are characters that look really bad, like old Malphite, old Zillion, old LeBlanc. Like, they look really bad. But Gragas just is repulsive to look at. God, he's so gross. What is with the ropes, man? Why are his arms bound like that? It doesn't even make his arms look like there's any muscle. It looks like one of those finger traps you'd get that you get your fingers stuck in. You know, I get it. Like, he's not from the Freljord, so he shouldn't necessarily need to dress like a Freljordian or have Freljordian attire. But he's in the Freljord still, and he's not an Iceborn. Iceborn aren't even immune to the cold. He would freeze to death. He just has a loincloth. He definitely was never intended to be in the Freljord at the start. I guarantee it. I don't even remember what the most of his old lore was, but there's no way this guy was supposed to be a Freljordian, though I guess, you know, looking at Udyr and Tryndamere and Ashe, maybe it's not so far-fetched. But Gragas was clearly not designed to be sensible. There was nothing sensible in this character. It's all designed to be nonsensical nonsense! That's a redundant statement. Gragas was not designed to be cool or fun or empowering. He was designed to be a joke, to be laughed at. I mean, evident by his skins as well, right? Like Santa Gragas, Scuba Gragas, Hillbilly. Like, he was designed to be a joke. He's designed to be pointed and laughed at and nothing else. And again, I don't necessarily think that's a problem. I think you can make funny characters, but not when they're so unappealing to look at. I think it really isn't helped either by the fact that he is pretty much the only fat character, or at least even chubby character, in the entire game. I think a lot of fellas got really upset by my Soraka redesign, making her a bit on the chubbier side, which that's not even a unique idea to me. Plenty of people have done that already. I just think, you know, we got 165 characters. We could have one that isn't like Gragas, where it's clearly designed that, like, no, you're supposed to just laugh at this guy for being fat. You can have cool fat characters. It's possible. Look at Roadhog. Roadhog's a big fat guy, but he feels strong and powerful and cool. I think you could do that. And he's kind of jokey, too. He barely talks all the time. The conversations he has with Junkrat, they're great. He's a jokey character. I'd like there to be more to Gragas than just being a joke. You know, I'd like there to be some kind of character behind it, some kind of personality, some kind of motivation, anything really, instead of just a slobbering mess. But weirdly enough, and this is the heresy part and why I think it's really bizarre and reworking him would be a challenge, I can't think of any character in the game like Gragas that when I play, my brain shuts off. There is no thinking. Run around like a maniac, unthinking creature and just throw barrels at people with no care in the world. That's what Gragas is like in lore, and that's what he plays like. An ironic twist of fate, this horrible, horrible character design matches the gameplay perfectly. I don't know how that was managed. Like, what would you expect from a character who's just a fat, drunken slob? Well, they probably just throw their weight around, chuck a bunch of beer and kegs at people, and drink a bunch of beer. That's exactly what Gragas does. He captures that perfectly. And there's no other character in the game that plays like Gragas. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because he's absolutely... I feel like a lot of champions go under the radar in terms of how infuriating they are to fight. Fighting Gragas, especially the AP like I'm doing right now, This is so unfun to fight against. Just look at poor Oriana, man. She has died 9 times. Doesn't help his voice lines either. They're all just, I'm on it, going in, don't get pushy. And then he has one where he goes, dodge this, but to me, it always sounds like he's going, duh, shit. And he's got some fun mechanics. I feel like besides the W, he's definitely one of those champions that feels like a combo character. Like every move was designed to work in tandem with each other. Like this. Fuck, like you put down the Q barrel in anticipation, you charge it up, you E body slam into somebody with the flash, and then you can use your alt barrel, knock them back into the Q. Like there's a lot of cool combos you can do with Gragas, not counting the stupid ass like 500 million ability haste Gragas that literally like just got nerfed. And again, like I mentioned with skins, he's got very, very few of them. Not very many good ones. All of them treat him like a joke. They just treat him like a thing to laugh at. Although Space Groove is fun. That's probably because it's one of the newest skins. Probably I think the newest skin that he does have. But that's a fun one. That fits him really well. And he's allowed to be a goofy, silly guy without being a just disgusting creature that he is right now. I should mention the Wild Rift design as well, because Wild Rift does its job to improve upon it. It doesn't look as horribly hideous as League Gragas. He looks like an actual person, at least. But it doesn't really change who he is as a character. He still is just a fat, drunken slob who runs around drinking beer and being an asshole, usually. And he's still, of course, going around the Freljord in nothing but a loincloth, not even any shoes. I feel like Wild Rift does that a lot, you know? Like, even we just got the new Syndra splash. There's like Syndra and Vladimir and Hecarim and Kassadin and all these Wild Rift upgrades that they do for the champions. I feel like compared to Legend of Runeterra with like Janna and Nidalee and Master Yi when they did Jax, those feel like true upgrades, reinventions of the character, and giving them a purpose like how they were always supposed to be. But Wild Rift feels more like side grades, you know? They feel more like marginal improvements that don't really fix any of the champion's core issues, you know? Like, of course, Kassadin looks a lot better in Wild Rift, but he still looks like a Darth Vader knockoff. Of course, Vladimir's outfit is significantly better, but they still didn't fix the whole aging problem. And of course, Syndra looks a lot better, but she still looks like this weird, campy 80s supervillain when she's supposed to be this mysterious Ionian person of this insane magical power. Same with Gragas. It's an upgrade, but not a substantial enough one. I think you'd have to do a full character redesign to this guy to make him really appealing to most people. I think that's all I have to say about Gragas. I don't know how long this game's gonna go on for, but I've been doing some pretty good bomb techniques. I'm already bored though. My brain is just not functioning when I play this character. Yay, I got that dragon. I have nothing else to say. I'm at a loss for words. It's Gragas, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you were expecting. I don't know what my brain cells will look like after this game is done. I think I've already lost at least 20 of them. Time to throw you under the table. Hold on to this, will ya? Die. Ah! Shit. Oh, thank God the game's ending. I can get my IQ back. Oh, I never playing this character again. My IQ decreases by 500 every time I do. I don't understand how people can main this character. I'm so over it. Jesus Christ, thank God I'm free. Okay, fellas, I'll see you next week on the next Casual Champion review. I believe it is Graves the Frog, so I'll see you on the next one, okay?